Hi there everyone, I'm Funk. What you're watching right now is a demo review of my Sixes team playing on Koth Product 8, I believe. I know that sounds crazy. Funk plays competitive. A lot of people don't realize that about me. I do play competitive TF2. I've been in it for about a year. I'm currently in Silver with the team you're looking at now, which consists of me, Mouser, Amang, Clay, Voltroid, and our roamer Zeno. You might recognize some of those names, you might not. But the point I'm trying to make here is one of the important things about competitive TF2 is to review yourself, and a good way to do that is to watch demos of yourself. So I figured today I'm going to give you a good rundown of our team playing on Koth Product, and just basically what's going through my mind and the team's mind. I don't know exactly what we were saying because this was recorded about a week ago, but I'll give you a basic idea of what was going through my head and everything that's happening. I'll try to cut it down to the bare essentials, but I might end up having some parts where I'm just trying to figure out what I was doing. We'll get to that. I also think I was rendering something during the recording of this, but whatever. So right here you'll see Voltroid goes up there and is subsequently killed by a soldier. I think in that scenario she was expecting me to follow up with her and go up there. Unfortunately I did think to do that, and it ended up with her dying. So you could put fault on both of us in that part. She kind of went a bit too far, but I really should have been there to back her up. That's a good reason to review yourself in demos, because it's important to notice things like that and remember it. So we capped the point. It looks like Voltroid was gonna start trying to fight them, but again, I did not go with her. You'll notice one important thing in Sixes is your scouts coordinate, and I have this big issue on our team where I don't think to like help out Voltroid or go where she is when she's usually in the right position. So I'm gonna have to start learning to work on that. So now I've responded. I'm going back. Mouser, I guess, was alone. I think one of the soldiers died and was unable to protect him, but we do get back. We're holding behind house right now. I think I tabbed out to check on my render. Again, if I can recommend anything to you people, don't render videos in the middle of scrims. Your team will get very upset about it for good reason. So we were holding behind Krillif there, which is this side of the map, and we did manage to pop crits and kill that soldier. I can't remember if he actually did manage to kill someone. I'll move this so I can see the kill feed. At this point I'm just completely losing all of my frames, probably because of that recording, which does end up, or that render, which does end up ending in about 2 minutes. I do a lot better once that's over, so it is important to have frames when you're playing the video game. It's crazy, I know. So it looks like the combo's holding over at right side currently. I'm getting messages from Heidi. But anyways, since the combo's over at right side, I figure Flunk's going to be over at left, which is why I'm currently holding over with, you know, a solid 2 FPS at this point. They do know that I'm here. I figure I can kind of keep them busy trying to shoot at me. That way the combo will have an opportunity to get a little more aggressive. At this point, I kind of get a little cocky and figure I'm going to go in and hit someone, but I do pull out before like anything bad happens. Again, this was a week ago, so I'm kind of remembering what was happening. That was Zeno right there. He's the roamer, and if you don't know much about Sixes, it's usually standard for the roamer and the scout to stay on the left, or not on the left, on the flank, wherever that may be. So at this point we got pushed out. I think 2 people died. So we're just going to try and hold over at our spawn. I managed to miss every shot. Thankfully Voltroid does come clean up that kill that I, for some reason, could not get. That scout was behind our house. Unfortunately I did not manage to see him. I think fortunately someone managed to pick him off for me. It's another thing, so I should probably be a little more aware. I do pick off that soldier. At this point they've lost 2 players. That's a good opportunity to start pushing up. With our communications, we do have everyone saying who's died, what's where, all the info we can possibly do. It looks like our roamer tried to jump in there and, or no, that was Amang. He tried to jump in and finish him off behind Cliff. When people are jumping in like that, it's a good idea for, the aggressive scout to come try and take the rest of the damage if that soldier does die before he can get a kill. I'm a bit of the aggressive scout on our team, which means I'm willing to get, aggressive, and while Voltroid will usually stay with the combo and protect them. At this point, I'm just hanging out on their cliff, missing every single shot intentionally, but eventually I realized, it's probably better that I hit them. So I did kill that scout. I figured maybe I could try and get a med pick on this. I do manage to get the med pick. You might be wondering, why did you bother? You died anyways. In sixes, if a scout can pick a med, that's usually a fair trade. If you're trading a scout for a scout, it's not that important. It's not worth risking your life. Pretty much in sixes, it's important to not risk your life on anything. But a med pick is definitely a bit of a tide turner in battle. So something like that is definitely worth it, as long as you know, like, you're confident that you can get that kill. So at this point, you're probably like, wow, Funk actually talks like serious about stuff, which is weird. I do play competitive sixes, as you can tell, and I take it pretty seriously when I play. My team has gotten annoyed by it just because I'll have such a stick in my ass when we play, and I'll like not crack jokes or anything. I'll just be dead silent focusing. So I did see their demo and medic over by Cliff alone, and I figured, well, I'm a scout, so I can probably take on the demo alone. I do try to get aggressive. This is a really stupid decision right here. I really should not have gone that far. I should have held back with my team who had just gotten the point. Unfortunately, I went too far in, so you kind of have to work with what you've done. At that point, I'm like, okay, I'll just respawn, get back up with them. Luckily, the team does manage to hold the point for a bit longer. At this point, I think I tabbed out to finish my render. So yeah, it looks like I am finally at like a decent FPS. Voltroid's getting a couple kills over by point. They did use, but we used back into them. And since we have better Ubers, meaning like we used it after they did, or no, maybe they did it, maybe they had. I think they were about even, but what that means is we had the opportunity to come back and just kill all the vulnerable players, then eventually go back and clean up all of the dying players. They try to bomb in because the cap time is so close to them. They have no choice but to just keep bombing and hope that they can get the point. This is really good for us because we only have 2 seconds. So even though I died, we do win, and it does end well. So we're gonna hop on to the next round. So when you're going out, this is usually a good time for your team to discuss where your combo's gonna hold, where your flank's gonna hold. It looks like our combo's gonna be holding over by main right and on concrete. Yeah, pretty much everyone's just holding on concrete. I think one of us really should have been sent over to the cliff, but whatever happens, we did manage to get a soldier pick. We're down 1 scout, but they're down a soldier, so we kind of have a bit more firepower. Now they're down 2, which means we have even more opportunity to get crazy aggressive. At this point, I'm just like, whatever, I'm gonna go insane and kill as many people as possible. So 4 people killed. All they really have left is a demo and a soldier. The soldier just died. That soldier really should have left, but he didn't. So now we have free point control and major Uber advantage. Their medic died on that mid, but ours does have now, which means if they decide to try and bomb in, which they probably will do, they're going to try and make our medic pop Uber. Even if they do, we're just going to have major time advantage. At this point, I was scouting ahead. I do get out in time. If I was a worse scout, I would have stayed in there and probably died, but I did figure my life is worth it, which is really important. A lot of times in sixes, you'll think, well, it's worth like dying because I'll get a pick. A lot of times, it's way better to just stay alive and get some damage. In an opportunity like that, I knew the demo was alone in that house, so I did follow up on that damage, and immediately, like right after I killed him, it was time to get out. I noticed Mouser, our medic, was over by their grass alone, so I went to escort him back. I think our soldiers might have jumped in, but either way, I started building with the Boston Basher. If I keep my health below overheal, his Uber charge will build faster. So at this point, they're all respawned. It looks like they're getting all together to start pushing. We decided it's better to just get out, let them cap it, then we can fight back into them. They have a scout in our house currently. If we do manage to get a good pick or two, that'd be a great opportunity to push back into them. But until then, you know, we have time advantage. We're not going to go too hard trying to find them. That scout managed to get to the left of me. I was too stupid to turn in time, but thankfully he didn't follow up on the damage. He totally could have killed me there. It looks like they used, I don't think we anticipated them having, but luckily they did completely like flub up that Uber and just managed to waste it, not really killing anyone. We started playing aggressive the second that was over because we knew we could use strike back into them, kill their medic, and just start cleaning up pretty much every other kill. Their scout ran into connector. He really shouldn't have done that, but at this point they're just stuck behind us. I decided to chase them and finish up all that damage. So yeah, it looks like their team got really desperate to stop our cap, and it did not pay off well for them because they just bled into all of our damage and died. So now we have pretty much full control of the point. Our entire team is up standing around here. So if you don't know much about Product, it's a pretty scout intense map. Me and Valtroid have been doing like a really good job keeping them all at bay at this point. Like I said, I'm a bit more aggressive, so she's done a good job of keeping the combo safe, and I've done a better job of chasing kills. If you're playing aggressive scout, and it's not a requirement to have an aggressive and a passive scout, it's just kind of important to know what your role is in a given scenario. So in that scenario, I really should have just played passive. But it looks like Valtroid was aggressive right afterwards, which is good because she managed to clean up a couple kills. Although she started taking on 2 scouts on 1-on-2, which pretty much if you ever play scout, you're not going to win that. It's just the nature of fighting 2 scouts at once. But we do have major time advantage. I think we have, yeah, we have, so we just managed to use in. Scout got on my head. I had no idea how to respond, thankfully. I do finish him off. So again, we're fighting this team, and we still have major point presence, which basically just means we're not letting them jump in, we're not letting them bully us into fighting back or anything. We're keeping them constantly damaged. They're not overhealed long enough. I did try to take on that soldier, but unfortunately I died. I think at that point a Mang said later Funk, and I just got like super pissed off for good reason, but I think it irritated me a little more than it should have, and I started playing a bit more sloppily, to say the least. We are still killing way more people, and we have about 10 seconds left on the clock. At this point, I just figure, you know, keep them off the point. So, I can't remember what our numbers are at this point, and I can't press tab because it's a demo, but it's not that big of a deal if they cap it right now, just because they have 2 minutes to go. But we do figure, okay, well, we can chase after this. I hope I could get the medic pick. I do manage to get it. You'll notice a lot of times I just run in on these guys and kill their medic even though they have like 3 guys. Normally that's not the good thing to do, but after playing against this team a couple times, I realized I could get away with it. That's an important thing of 6s too. You need to be able to read your enemies. If you know how they play, then you can easily just adjust your play style. So I knew this team was not very good at defending their medic, so I could tons of times just get in there, sacrifice myself, kill a medic. Because I'm a scout, and a scout's life is way more expendable than a medic's. A medic is basically a tie turner to the game. I think I already said that. But coming on to the 3rd round, we all decide we've done a concrete hold and it did well, so we're doing that again. It looks like Valtroid and Xeno are over on flank, so I'm going to play as the passive scout, and then she'll be doing a bit more aggressive. We do lose our pocket there, so we decide to play a bit more back. And I think I promised Clay that I would mention he's been going pretty ham during this game. I think that's like one of the reasons I reviewed this demo, because he was like, alright, so if you're going to review a demo, make sure you review the Product one, because I did super well on it. It might not have even been this one, but he did do well. We all did well. Valtroid was calling for help while fighting that scout. She got upset because no one came to help her. I really should have. I think I was late to the punch. We did kill the soldier. Unfortunately, she died, but you know, we did pick the soldier, so they're not going to have too much control over us. Xeno gets an amazing air shot there. Well, maybe amazing. It was an air shot. It was nice, and then I immediately died afterwards because I probably should have played a little safer, but whatever. They used it on a scout, probably hoping they could pick our med, but we did have, so you know, they pick him off and we just start charging straight back into them. For some reason, the crits are just infinitely put onto my scattergun, not sure why. But anyways, soldier tries to jump in on us. I managed to miss every shot possible on this guy before killing him. Thankfully Xeno picks him off because God knows I couldn't have. They just have a scout on cliff, but he, for some reason, lets me sort of corner him onto the house. Once he's there, he realizes he's kind of stuck, but he does also realize, hey, Funk's shit at the game, so I can just sort of chase him back. At this point, I'm stuck behind them, but they have 2 scouts. Playing a bit aggressive, the rest of their team follows in. I don't know how I got out of that alive, but I did know our team was at grass, so I decided I'm going to go watch cliff. To which I found this little surprise soldier hanging out. I called for the roamer to do some damage on that guy. He does. I don't think he manages to kill him in time. But yeah, blue does get control of the point. At this point, they're beating us a bit more. Probably because I did not manage to pick off that scout. I think I just sort of pussied out when I was getting frame drops, and before I mean, it was a frame drop for half a second, But, you know, when you're playing and you can think of any excuse, it's really easy to just be like, oh, well, I had a reason. But it is important to just be like, okay, real talk, me, you should not have done that. Our roamer jumps in, looks like he's trying to get the medic or at least pop him. So we did manage to pop that medic, which is good. Even though he died, that means they're not going to be able to contest it with Uber. They ended up leaving their medic completely alone. Again, they don't have great medic defense, meaning I could just sort of run in on that medic and pick him. At this point, they've lost a good 3 or 4 picks on their team. I, for some reason, decided to look at my loadout there for a second. But we do. There's a scout at our spawn for some reason. Don't know why. But yeah, scout's behind us. I tell my team, there's a scout behind you. Make sure to take care of him. And then we're basically free to take the point again, because we have 100% Uber. I'm sorry if it sounds like I've been talking this entire thing, but that's kind of the point of a demo review. You got to keep everything in mind. I decide they're behind cliff. I'm going to go check out grass, see if there's anything. Our flank's pretty much just holding concrete right now, so I'm going to get a bit aggressive. Since I'm not overhealed, a scout with full overheal 185% is way more terrifying than like a regular health scout. At this point, I'm just going to get full overheal and get ready to start fighting. Of course, our team starts bleeding a lot, which means I can't be the priority of healing. I have to let the medic heal everyone. They have a successful bomb there, kind of. Basically, a successful bomb is either killing the med or at the very least getting him to pop early, which he does manage to do. I pull a really dumb mistake falling into the waters of piranhas, otherwise known as 2 scouts, get completely demolished, but, you know, wake up to live another day. At this point, I'm just sort of watching this. They try to send a soldier to that rock, I guess, to start getting a lot of damage on this. They are trying to take that point back. They only have 35 seconds left on it. So we have to work pretty hard to try and contest this. If they do get that point, which they do, they'll start capping it more and more, and we're just going to be more and more rushed to fight it. That scout really tries to commit to that demo. Thankfully, I was with Clay, so Clay manages to give him a godly pape straight to the face. He does eat that pipe like it's prescribed straight from the doctor. And we get back to picking some more people. At this point, 2 people have died. I decide maybe I can follow up on that soldier. I know he's low health. We all do, so we kill him. I tell my team there's a scout at connector. Immediately, Valtroid goes to finish him off. And I'll stay here. Although, the second scout did show up, pressuring her to fall out. So, scout's still behind us. I figure I can follow him. He does get that health pack, which makes him a force to be reckoned with, because at this point I have 81 health. Scout's still in on us. And I can hear him shooting. Thankfully, you know, Mouser gets that amazing crossbow on him. I just figure they have 0 seconds. If they cap this, they do win the game, which means our team just has to stack it like a pancake. Didn't manage to get in time. We lost. It's all right though. We're 2-1 at this point. Just gonna keep rolling with it. So we're rolling out again. I think we're still doing concrete, which I guess that's a good thing to mention in the demo review. We really should have changed our strategy. It is very team dependent. If something keeps working on a team, you know, don't broke what ain't fixed. Don't fix what's not broken, but it is important to mix it up. That way you throw them off. Otherwise they will learn to combat what you're doing. I know that soldier was down a bunch of damage, so I follow him up through connector. I think okay, my game crashed at this point, or the demo died on me. No idea what happened. But the game just ended. Great. Alright, so hopefully it doesn't crash for a while. I think we're good. Alright, got back to the point, and it looks like it crashed. Okay, so I guess the demo just died on me in the middle of that, but I hope that gave you a good idea of what was going on in that scrim. I should probably figure out what happened there. If it was on a separate demo or something. No idea. I don't think my game crashed. I thought I did crash at one point because I put on my Australian scattergun. Maybe that was it. I don't know. But yeah, that was it. Thanks. Bye. I don't wanna be no man anymore. Spending riches since I was out. Chicken booty making sweet mouth all the night. This time I got back to the good life. This time I got back. Then I don't even know how to drive.